Janet Fritz here for Galaxy Girl Creations. Welcome to my channel. Welcome to Mixed Media Mayhem. Today we are using a recipe that includes modeling paste, sprays, and flowers. So I pulled out this picture of our new pup. When we got her name was Diva, and I think they named her that at the shelter, but we have changed her name to Coda. So the title is going to be She's No Diva, because she really was not much of a diva. Like she doesn't have that kind of diva behavior. She does look like she's a diva because she's so pretty and all that, but yeah, she doesn't have that kind of behavior. So that's why we changed her name, and she didn't actually respond very well to Diva anyway, but she does respond better to Coda. So I have no idea. So I pulled out this stencil from the Crafter's Workshop, and I will put a link to that down below. I don't know the name of it off the top of my head. I sprayed it with some black marble Dylusions and some slate gray Dylusions. So black marble in the middle, slate gray around the outside. And now I am using some Snowdrop White paper glaze around the outside. So that is my texture paste and my sprays, and then I will add some flowers to the layout as I build the embellishment clusters and whatnot. So I am really happy with the way that this came out. I wasn't entirely sure what I was going to do with this background to begin with, and you'll see that I go through a couple iterations of how I want it to look, but I'm happy with the way that it came out in the end. So here's the little reveal when you peel the texture or the stencil off. It looks really cool. So it almost has a metallic finish with that Snowdrop White because it dries glossy. They do have something called the paper glaze enhancer that makes it so that it has a matte finish, but I rarely use it. I don't mind that glossy finish for most of my layouts. So if you do use the paper glaze enhancer with one of the colored ones, you should note that the color is going to be a little bit lighter than what it actually is if you leave it glossy, because the paper glaze enhancer is white, so it kind of lightens everything up. So I am trimming down the edges of my paper by about 1/8 of an inch around all four sides so that I can have a nice black border on it, because I just think that looks really crisp and clean, and I really just love that finished, almost framed look, I guess. So it really feels like it's grounded. It feels like it's framed and finished when I do a border around the outside. So that makes me pretty happy. So I am considering what I want to do with the layout here. I do know I want to use a little bit of this blue paper. This is actually some packaging from Asuka Studios, I believe is the name of it. And the reason I liked it was that super light blue is really kind of like the color of her eyes. So I wanted to pull in a little bit of the light blue to kind of just play on the color in her eyes. And then I found this ephemera pack that I had. I actually have a couple of these, and they're from Jen Hadfield's Peaceful Heart collection. And so I pulled out the blue flowers, but then some of them had the purple flowers attached, that kind of like purpley pink color. And so I decided to go ahead and use those because it really does play on the color of the pink of her tongue and the inside of her ears. I felt like they were such a good match for that it really just kind of highlighted her just a little bit better. And I'm going to tuck that blue tag in behind the photo, but I already had the adhesive down. So I'm just trying to remove that center bit of adhesive so that the tag can slide down just a little bit further, because I don't want it sticking out too far. I just want the top of it sticking out. And I'm liking how that's looking, but I'm not 100% sure where I'm going to put all of my ephemera at this point, mostly because I think I was getting kind of into a rut of doing the same type of like triangle, and so I thought I needed to do something different. So I'm sitting here tapping my fingers, trying to think about what I'm doing, and then I decide, you know what, I'm going to rip this. I'm at a crop when I'm doing this, and the people on either side of me and across from me all went, like, what did you just do? And I was like, no, it's going to look better, trust me. And I really like the way that it looks with the black showing. And in order to get that kind of a look, I had to rip. It's all in the direction that you're ripping. So the piece that you don't want, you rip towards you. The piece that you do want, you rip away from you. If you don't want that edge showing and you want it to be like a cleaner edge, then you do it the opposite. So, and see, it looks so much better already. I think it just needed a little bit of white space for your eye to rest on. And when I say white space, it doesn't necessarily have to be white. It could be any color. It just needed something that wasn't so busy and distracting. So that is, that is why, I felt like just ripping it really just kind of finished it off. And I'm really happy with the way that it came out with that big old rip in it. It still has all of the required things for Mixed Media Mayhem. It's got, you know, the modeling paste, the spray, and the flowers. It just has a big swatch taken out of it. So I do find that a lot of the ephemera in these packs from Jen Hadfield, and probably most of the American Crafts ones, when they have a white border around them, the white border is really large, and so I like to trim them down. I know not everybody likes to fussy cut them, but I do know a lot of people get annoyed by that really big white border. I didn't make you sit through watching me fussy cut around these leaves. You can see to the bottom right hand corner there is another one of those leaves with the white border still on it, and it's just a lot. I do kind of understand why they do it. It gives them a little bit more wiggle room for mistakes in cutting. Their machines don't have to be quite as exact, but yeah, it's kind of annoying. So I just take the time and I fussy cut it, and I don't mind that. I am using some glue, let's see here, foam tape to put underneath these flowers. And I wasn't at home. I forgot my foam, and I am borrowing from my dear friend Lynn. Thank you, Lynn, for loaning me some foam. And so hers is double-sided sticky, and it comes in these really narrow strips. And so I really appreciated being able to use that because it allowed me to finish my layout. And then I'm just using some liquid glue to adhere the leaves down. Anything that is right up against that mixed media is going to require a little bit of that glue because mixed media just does not like to stick to the ATG gun for the most part. So now I was grabbing another piece of the foam tape there to pop this other little flower up onto some foam. The little individual flowers are definitely on foam. The ones that are tucked behind the photograph are not. And then each one of those areas gets one of these little black and white leaves, and I think that looks really cool. It gives it a little bit of an organic feel to it with the florals and the leaves, whereas the stencil kind of has like an industrial type feel to it, to me anyway. I don't know what it's actually supposed to be. I don't know if it's just like, you know, like a piece of broken glass or something like that. It probably would tell me if I knew the name of the actual stencil, but I don't know that right off the top of my head, and I'm gonna have to look it up. So, and then lastly, I am gonna stamp this stamp that's in the upper right hand corner, and I'm going to tuck it underneath between the blue stripe and the black paper that's under the photograph. Unfortunately, you don't get to see that on camera because I lost a bit of footage, including the title. But you see it here, and then I'm going to add a piece of black and white baker's twine to the top of that tag and call it a day. If you're interested in the die that I used for the title, it'll be down below for you as well. Thanks so much for watching, you guys. Check out everyone else playing along with Mixed Media Mayhem. I'm sure they have awesome stuff for you today, and I can't wait to go check it out myself. Thanks again for watching. Leave any comments or questions you have down below, and I'll get back to you as soon as possible, and I'll see you guys again tomorrow. Bye-bye.